Hey guys, welcome to homework number 7 front side video. Reminder that due dates are at the top. A days, this is due next Wednesday, October 17th. B days, this is due on Thursday, October 18th. Reminder that we switched up the way we're doing these videos, so I will do this side. On this side, I'm not going to do the video. I'll just give you the answer of what you should get at the end, and to get credit, you have to show your work all the way through. So let's get started. So we have let f of x equals x squared and g of x equals x minus 7. So here we have to find f of g of x. What's our first step? We're going to rewrite the function using the first one, goes outside the parentheses, f of g of x, just like that. Next step is I have to write my outer function, leaving a blank for the x. So we have this large blank, squared. So that's my outer function. Notice that I wrote my f, which is x squared, with a blank and then a squared sign. Now looking at my inner function, which I should have labeled before, but oops. We have our inner function, which is g of x. We plug that in inside the parentheses, x minus 7. So I'm left with x minus 7 squared. The way we solve that is using everyone's favorite box method. Woo! Awesome. So we have box method. Oh, Lord. So we're going to put x here, negative 7 there, x and a negative 7. X times x is x squared. Negative 7x, negative 7x, and negative 7 times negative 7 is a positive 49. That means my final answer, after I add those together, will be x squared minus 14x plus 49, which seems legit. Let me check my answer key, which I put in front of my face, but still didn't look at. That's what I got last time, too, so that's looking pretty good. All right, so we have the next one, which is f of g of 4. So, two things about this. We could either solve it again the same way, but I look and notice that it's the same thing as before. I just need to plug in 4 for x. So here we go. I see I have 2 x's still left when I solve just for f of g of x. I'm going to plug 4 in for those using a different colored pencil because this is very exciting. So we have 4 in there and 4 in there. I know. In both of those, coming from part B, so I have 4 squared minus 14 times 4 plus 49. 4 squared is 16. 14 times 4, man, is a number. I'm going to go with, I actually don't know. Let me look at my sheet again. I don't know what 14 times 4 is. I'm going to do it off to the side. 14 times 4, 16. That gives us 56, so minus 56 plus 49. 16 minus 56 is a negative 40. Negative 40 plus 49 is just 9, which is also what I got last time. So once again, you didn't have to do it that way, but you could have, right? Because we found the same function up above and just plugged in 4 for x. Otherwise, we could have resolved it the same way and done the exact same thing there. Good. Lastly, we have g of f of x, and this one's a little bit different, right? Because this time the g comes first instead of the f. So I'm going to write g, this time is my outer function, and f is my inner function. So as my outer function, I'm going to use g of x. So I'm going to leave my big space for x minus 7. Plugging in f, because that's my inner function, so I have x squared minus 7. I can't really simplify that any farther. Sorry, you couldn't see my paper, but we're left with x squared minus 7. And there we go.
Yay!
Woo! Super exciting. Loving all of this amazing crowd interaction here. All right, next time, so this is the you try problems, which is labeled. So you're going to have to do it yourself for the work. I'm just going to give you the answers of what you should get, so I'm going to write those at the bottom now. So I have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. That's what you should be getting for part A. Part B, the answer is 25. And part C, the answer should be 2x squared minus 3. Once again, I have been known to make the more than occasional mistake, so if any of those are incorrect, let me know. But that's what you should be getting when you're solving these 3 problems. Moving on to the ACT problems, there are 2. Once again, I mentioned this today, but there are quite a few composite functions on the SAT and the ACT both, so it's a really good idea. This homework's actually helpful for those tests, which is awesome. But let's solve this first one. So we have, given the functions f and g, defined by f of x equals x plus 3, and g of x equals x squared plus 1, what is the value of f of g of 1? So here, f of x comes first, so that's my outer function. G is inside the parentheses, that's my inner function. So I'm going to write my outer function first, f plus 3, f of x, leaving that blank for the x plus 3, filling in x squared plus 1. I'm going to simplify a little bit further. So moving down, I know I can combine those two terms. So x squared plus 4. What does x equal here? 1. So I'm going to plug 1 into there. So I have 1 squared plus 4. That's 1 plus 4, which equals 5, which should be B. Good. Next up, we have question number 25. So f of x equals 2x squared plus x, and g of x equals 3x minus 1. What is the value of f of g of 3? So we have f of x here is my outer function because it comes first. G of x is my inner function. So this one's a little bit tricky because reminder that we have to plug in g of 3 every time we see an x. So I'm going to leave my blanks. So I'm leaving a blank for that x. But here you see how this is also a plus x. I also have to leave a blank there because I have to fill in g of 3 for x the 2 times that we see an x. So here we have g of x. I'm going to fill that in over there. So we have 2 times 3x minus 1 squared plus 3x minus 1 because I have to fill that in that set of parentheses as well. This would be really annoying because what I'd have to do is box method here and then multiply by 2 and then combine like terms, blah, blah, blah. That sounds really boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this 3 right here because we know that we're not using an x. We have to solve the entire equation, and we can do that using that 3. So if I rewrite this, I have 2 times 3 minus 1 squared plus 3 times 3 minus 1. And luckily, so you can plug this into your calculator, get the answer right away. I don't like calculators. I'm going to try and do it in my head. So we have 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 squared is 64. 64 times 2, I think, is 128. I could be wrong. Yikes. Plus 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. So we have 128 plus 8. That gives me 136, which luckily is an answer choice. Yay for multiple choice tests. So that's it for the front side of homework 1. Reminder, if you have any questions on this side, please come in and talk to me or Miss Avera. Other than that, have a good weekend. Hopefully you guys will be watching this over the weekend, but probably not. Yes, anyone else want to say bye?
Keys.
Bye.
What does that spell?
Keys. Thank you for watching.